SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew is proud to announce we are now officially powered by TEC. If their fiber optic internet service can handle everything we throw at it here in the studio, from videos to calls and live streams, you better believe they can handle your home or business too. If speed, stability, and service is important to you, you can count on TEC. Thanks, TEC. Now let's get to the show. In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee. Where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter, and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food. That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Hey, happy Sunday. Good to see you here on SportsCast. I'm Jeremy Buckelew, your host, and glad to have you with us once again this week for another great episode. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Got some awesome guests here with me that I'll introduce here in just a bit, but I do want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors for bringing you SportsCast each and every week. Thanks to TEC Internet, who has outfitted our whole studio with the high-speed fiber optic cable, and it works as well as anything I've ever seen as far as internet goes. And so I want to say thank you to TEC for their jumping on board with us and helping us out. And thank you to Taters for their sponsorship. They've been with us from the beginning, and actually had lunch at Tater's today and saw Tater himself and got to talk to him for a minute. But it's a great place to go eat. I had the smash burger and fries and some fried pickles. The kids got the cheese curds, and Whitney had some loaded fries. It was a good afternoon. Mark McWhorter was out there. Live music every Sunday, and so go by Tater's out on the Lake Highway. If you haven't had a chance to do so yet, stop by and get you a burger and a chicken sandwich or something to eat. And don't forget, he's also got the bike shop there. And so if you got a bike needs working on, you can take it there as well and end up getting two birds with one stone there. Get your bike fixed and get something good to eat while you're at it. And then also thanks to All Star Fence and Jeff Archie and his crew for coming on board with us and helping us with the show each and every week. We appreciate them. Also want to say thanks to Patriot Plumbing, Shelter Insurance, Eaton Construction, and Tennessee Real Estate for their sponsorship as well. We got a new segment we're going to think about doing, look at doing. Got some different ideas coming up with the show and changing it a little bit. But for tonight, just going to introduce one of those small sections that hadn't decided on a name yet. Looking at Big Red Breakdown or Buckelew's Breakdown, one of the two. But got some guys with some production equipment and the stuff that they can use to bring you the clips and stuff that you're about to see. But kind of have a little bit of an introduction for the breakdown that we're going to do every week. And so, Kevin, if you have that, go ahead and roll that footage. And you can see that hopefully you get Coach Josh Wolf in here some and talk about Henry County Patriot football. Of course, the guys had a big game on Thursday night this past week. Didn't go quite the way we wanted it to, but it was a learning process. And Scott was able to get some of these awesome shots from that you see, and using his equipment. And I want to say thanks to Coach or to Steve Summers for allowing us to grab some of these shots that you see that Scott was able to get. And again, each and every week focused on football this week because that's the newest thing that started up, and everybody's excited about that, I know. But also going to look at some volleyball and golf and girls soccer and everything else that is going on sports-wise around Henry County, and just kind of focus on bits and pieces of it here and there, and talk about it and what the scores were and what all was going on with the teams this week. And so, actually, also we got some footage from actual game footage from the other night that able to get. There's Jakai's opening kickoff that he took like 48 yards, something like that, to start the game. Got a good start for the Patriots there. And then we'll have one of Aiden's 4 touchdowns that he was able to sneak into the end zone. Was set up by a big run prior to that we're going to see here in just a second. But as I said, Henry County went toe-to-toe with Haywood this past Thursday night. And I'll be honest, I don't think a lot of folks gave Henry County much of a chance in that football game. When you talk to folks around town and sports guys who know what they're talking about, and Henry County was probably a pretty good-sized underdog when you look at just the Tomcats and what they had coming back. And they've got 2 SEC caliber defensive backs and wide receivers, and we shut one of those guys down. So Kevin said you got one more clip to show. Oh yeah, here's Jakai's big catch. You can see those linebackers crash in, and he just runs right by him, and then Aiden hits him pretty much in stride, and they were able to, one guy running step for step with him, just horse-collared him to tackle him. But regardless, great play there. But every week on the show, we'll just kind of break down what's going on sports-wise. You can see there's the Game 1 recap for the Patriots and Tomcats. Of course, Tomcats on top 30-28 when the final horn blew, but 258 total yards for the Patriots to 254 for Haywood County. Henry County rushed for 168. I think Aiden Spellings rushed for 137 of those. The Tomcats rushed for 197. Aiden threw for 90 yards, 57 yards passing for the Tomcats rather. What killed us this week were 2 turnovers, lost a fumble and had an interception, and then I think we had 10 penalties as well. And it's tough to beat a good team when you have 10 penalties. But players of the game for the week, offense, we're going to say it's Aiden Spellings, said 137 rushing yards, 5 of 9 passing for 90 yards, had 4 touchdowns. And then defensively, Xavier Foster had 11 total tackles, 8 solo tackles and 7 assists. I could have gave that to a handful of other guys as well. I know Malik Jackson had like 6 tackles, but had a pass breakup and a sack. Denius Ward played a great game, had a sack, and Sam Harrison had a couple pass breakups, and Danny Tormey had a big interception, and just a great overall effort. But each and every week here on the show, thinking about just going over some of that stuff and seeing how you like it. And again, just not with football, but with every sport going on in Henry County right now. But I was kind of laughing and talking to some folks doing, given the fact that I do the stats, I kind of have the freedom to do with them what I want. And so, like, why not? You're breaking stats every week. Be right here on SportsCast Live with Jeremy Buckelew. You can tune in and find out the stats for Henry County football and all that. But regardless, again, that'll be Buckelew's breakdown or something to that effect, Big Red breakdown. We'll see how it goes and let you know. Tonight, as I said, I got a great show. Got a couple of guys here. One of these guys I've known for a really, really long time. We were talking about it, and we'll tell some stories about it here in just a second. But and then another one of them I met a couple years ago through some church-related activities and stuff. But glad to join me in the studio, or I hope they're glad to join. I'm glad to have them is what I meant. Dr. Kyle Stephen. No, you guys are glad to be here. I'm telling you now. Dr. Kyle Stephen,
yes, sir,
and Bart Croasmun are with us tonight. Going to talk about Able Farms and the work that they are doing out there, but also their sports histories. And so, guys, we start each and every week with the best thing I've seen this week. And so for my best thing I've seen this week, you could probably tell already I love football. I love Henry County football. I was glad to see the lights and the action on Thursday night. Again, hate it didn't turn out the way that we wanted to, but I think that we sent a message to a lot of folks that Henry County is not a team to be looked past or slept on, and these guys are ready to play and looking forward to a great season. And so my best thing I saw this week was Henry County football. Dr. Stevens, glad to have you with us first and foremost.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you. You're going to have to quit. You're going to have to drop the title. It's still
I'll
it's
try.
Kyle. We've known each other too long. We're not in the office.
Okay.
But best thing I've seen this week, hands down, would be the turn in the weather.
Yeah.
Boy, we're grateful for some cooler weather, geese flying, harvest just started out in Elkhorn, where I got to grow up and I live, and just grateful for fall being right around the corner.
It has been a couple of beautiful days. I was in southern Mississippi and Louisiana earlier this week. I think one day it was 103 while we were there, and then came home, and those mid-80s felt great.
Yep.
I mean, you're right. It's been beautiful weather. So.
Yep.
Bart Croasmun, glad to have you with us. Best thing you've seen this week.
All right, I'm gonna let you be in the little small percentage who gets my last name right. Okay,
I appreciate that.
Croasmun.
Okay.
It's all right.
Sorry.
Nobody gets it right. It's okay. I'm going to let you be part of the group.
He's sensitive about these sort of things.
I can tell. Listen, Buckelew, you know, growing up, I understand.
Yeah.
And
so it's all right.
Yeah.
I was going to say something along the lines of, the Henry County Fair, getting to see and be a part of that. My daughter got to show this year for the first time an animal with that. But as you were talking about football coming back, I just realized I watched Incarnate Word versus Nicholls State on Saturday.
Okay.
So I guess I'm also excited about football being back, because I found myself looking up, where is Incarnate Word? Where is Nicholls State? So I now know those in case it comes up again. So I now know that the one's in San Antonio, one's in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
There you go.
Congratulations.
I knew Nicholls State was in Thibodaux simply because that's where they do the Manning Passing Academy every year.
That's right.
Nicholls State and Thibodaux.
That's right.
Cade went to that one year. It's funny you say that because I was laying in bed the other night watching two high school teams from California. Of course, when the high school season kicks off, ESPN has games from all over the country. And I was sitting there watching, one of the teams was ranked 19th in the country or something like that. And there were California high schools, and Whitney walked in. She's like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "Well, I'm watching this high school football game." She's like, "They're from California. Why are you watching?" I was like, "Because it's football. Why do I not want to watch it anyway?"
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm just glad it's here finally, and
That's right.
Feels like fall, as you said. But guys, glad again. Just really glad to have you on the show. We're going to talk about Abel's studio or Abel's Farms here in just a second, but. Like I said, Dr. Kyle, sorry, that's going to be, listen, I'm doing my best, but Kyle, I've known you for such a long time.
Yes.
We were laughing before we came on the air a little bit, but back when soccer was played out at Eiffel Tower Park, your dad, the Reverend Randy Stevens, was my first ever soccer coach when it was still AYSO soccer. I remember, I think that's the first organized sport that I really remember playing, soccer. And your dad was my coach, and you were on that team, obviously. And we had a good time. We had a good team, I think.
I don't really remember how effective we were at soccer at that age, but no, great memories growing up here. And I think we mentioned right before we came on the air, my dad grew up playing basketball, and that was kind of where I landed mostly. And so I think that team would have been it was probably his first soccer game he ever witnessed, much less had to coach. And they didn't have any other coaches. And so he got stuck being the coach. And literally he just said, kick it that direction, don't kick it that direction. And that was the only advice he had for us. But we survived.
We survived. And I tell you, from what I remember, and maybe somebody can correct me, I don't know who else will be out there watching, but I remember Brian Reddick and Woody Winchester were on that team. And so Kara Main and I kind of laugh about it all the time at the office. But we were probably middle of the road, during the season, but then we won the tournament at the end of the year and got trophies and was named the first place team after going 500 during the regular season. So he obviously knew what he was doing out there on the soccer field, and it was just a hidden talent. He was like, "Yeah, I'm great at this."
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that had everything to do with it. Absolutely. You have a far better memory than I do. I've slept since then.
Well, it was funny because the things you do remember. I was telling you, I should have gone by. I've got a picture of me and you from probably when we were in third or fourth grade, from the Elks Hoop Shoot. Because again, you're a basketball guy, but the Elks Hoop Shoot was this big annual event, and you were always there. And I think a lot of years me and you went head to head on who was going to get to represent Paris and Henry County at the next level in the Elks Hoop Shoot. And I'm pretty sure I have a photo at home of me and you. But I quit growing about that time. You did not. so you got to go on and play other places, but
it's fun to look back on all the people that shaped you into the person, into the athlete, and whatever other areas you are. But I'm grateful to have grown up in the hoop shoot era, get to grow up here. Call this home, and I'm a Springville Panther, for those that are old enough to know what that was, and what have you. And then graduated high school here in '98, and went on to Lipscomb University in Nashville. Played ball there for 4 years before heading off to school. And beyond that,
you were on some pretty good Henry County basketball teams as well. Had the nickname Money, which you kind of laughed. I don't know if Bart had heard that story before or not.
I had, not from him, but from his brother. I heard it from his brother. So
nickname was Money because he was money in the bank when he got the ball.
Well, so that's I don't know exactly who coined that, but I'm going to go with somebody in the Woo Pound.
Okay.
Whether that would be Chad Baldwin or Wilson or Scott Wheatley or one of those guys. I don't know who did. Maybe it was. I don't know who it was, and what have you. But they would pass out. They'd get all these fake bills and pass them out to the entire crowd. And when I would make a shot, they would wave money. Yeah. The whole crowd would wave that. And so grateful for the success we had as a team, and grateful for those guys. And fun to think back on the people you get to play with and what have you. And, to be for that to be 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Coming up or in the rear view, and to think back to the people you got to play with, particularly, and the people that are not here.
Yeah.
And the William Gray, and great player, even better guy,
right,
who's no longer with us. And so lots of good memories growing up in Henry County.
Y'all were the 97 and 98 district champions.
We were.
We talked about that, but what we didn't talk about is that was the last time a Henry County boys team won the district tournament until this past year. When Luke and Brian is also on that team, went out and won another district championship for Henry County. We were laughing when I think it was right after the district tournament, like the next night, I think the girls played the region or something like that, and they had already put the numbers up on the board.
So fast.
You 98 guys must have felt slighted a little bit how quickly it was not erased, but replaced with the last winning district championship for the boys.
Well, I didn't really know anything at Henry County High School happened that fast.
Right.
So, but they got a 2025 on there in a hurry.
Yeah.
To honor that. But they had a great year, and it was fun watching Luke, and excited about this year.
Yeah.
With the boys and the team coming up.
I think it's going to be a great basketball season. I'm really looking forward to it as well. And so I was hoping Luke was going to join us tonight. He's going to kind of give him a hard time, but Bart can probably do that better than anybody
absolutely.
now.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, when you get to be the youth minister of these kids, then a lot.
Sure.
And I'm certain that if Luke or Brian ever get to hear this, that they will cringe at the thought of what Bart Croasmun could tell about Luke and Brian Stevens.
Yeah. If they were here, they could stop me. They're not
here. And so it's fair game.
That's right.
That's how
Whatever
it
you
works.
want to know, I can do it. I got Luke's number.
What's your
for
best
the
Luke
girls.
story? Let's hear just what's your best Luke story that won't embarrass him or anything like that.
Then I don't have any. I'll say this about Luke. He's one of the guys. One of the things doing youth ministry that's fun for me is building inside jokes.
Okay.
And there is a movie that I love dearly. I think it's my duty. Besides teaching scripture and stuff, I have to teach kids cult comedy classics.
It's part of it. I mean,
right? Yeah.
Yes, you'd be failing if you didn't.
Thank you for recognizing it. Yeah. And so Luke's one of my guys that I can do lines from a movie and he'll pick up and we'll be right into the bit and right into the scene and sometimes it's only me and him laughing. Okay. Brian's also now, we've brought him into it, and so it may be the three, maybe a fourth.
Sure.
But the rest of the kids in the group, they have no idea what's going on. But the four of us are as happy as we can be.
That's what matters.
That's what matters.
That's what matters. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's successful. Like I said, teach them the scripture, but also you got to get some pop culture in there so that they're just not
right.
like they know what's going on in the world, but then you can tell them about how Jesus overcame. You know what I'm saying.
And I can relate it to the characters from the movie.
Exactly right.
It's very teachable.
It's
very
exactly
youth ministry.
Right. It is. But that's how I met Bart was through the because filled in several times as the interim youth guy at church, and recently winding down that role myself. And so it's like I appreciate the work that Bart has done with the kids, because I know that they love him, and you can see it in his group. You can see it that he enjoys working with them, but more importantly, like he is pouring into their lives and is a blessing to them. And so I didn't tell you were going to give you those kudos. Don't. But it's true. And so
Sure.
I appreciate it.
But so then you leave Henry County, and you said you played for Lipscomb, and then.
Yeah, went to Lipscomb in Nashville. I grew up going to camp. At the time, Coach Don Meyer was the head coach there. He was there for decades. More of a legend in his own right in the college basketball world and in the NAIA world. And was recruited by him, played my freshman year for him. Lipscomb made the decision after my freshman year to jump from NAIA to Division I. And so Coach Meyer left, and they hired Scott Sanderson, who was my coach for the last 3 years. He's Wimp Sanderson's son, former coach, I think it maybe Bama. And Coach Sanderson was my coach the last 3 years. Lots of transition from when you take a program from an NAIA that was really good, and then you start playing. We go from playing NAIA schools to Ole Miss and Butler at the time when they're just rolling over people. It was an interesting time and what have you. But grateful for the opportunity. Grateful for got my education paid for, and grateful for the people I met and just the formation that happened during those 4 years. And so grateful to do it, and I enjoyed my time as an athlete, and then when it was over, it was okay. It was time to move on.
Well, but even in moving on, you're still tied to the game through work, and we'll talk about that in a bit.
Sure.
But it's not like you're still right in the thick of it with all the people you get to see. So
professionally and personally as a daddy,
right?
And so it's fun.
Yeah. So Bart, tell us about your upbringing and how you got.
I can totally make this up because I didn't grow up here, and there's no fact checkers.
That's true.
So I'm from West Virginia originally, base of the Northern Panhandle. Look at that guy coming in there.
I know, right? Got a special guest about to drop in on us.
So I grew up in West Virginia, small school. Actually, our school just closed its doors after 75 years this past year. Wow. So but I grew up in Payton City, West Virginia. Played all the sports. We were a small school, but baseball was my thing. That was one where I kind of stood out a little bit more than that. Sure. And then I got on the team at Marshall University, Thunder and Herd, and I got to play for them for a couple of years. Life went sideways, a lot of my problems that I caused, and then I ended up finishing up at Ohio Valley, which was a Division II school. Okay. Which also isn't in existence anymore. I've got a history. It's not great.
Maybe it's Bart.
Right. Yeah, it could very well be. Yeah. But I was grateful for that time too of playing, and just baseball became my go-to sport.
Sure.
I was recruited as a corner infielder, became a pitcher, and then just kind of stayed there. Yeah, stayed on the mound.
We were talking before. I ask everybody who has been on that has played at y'all's level, the best person you've played against. You have an interesting story of the best person you played for and a relationship that. Tell that story. That's a great story.
Okay. So when I was at Marshall, Howard McCann was the head baseball coach there. His son was Brian McCann. Went on to play for the Braves and the Yankees, but he was only like 9 or 10 when I'm there in college. Right. And so Brian wasn't around the game or around the team a whole lot, but I can just remember one game right before he's out. I'm a bullpen pitcher this time. I'm a freshman, so I don't have a lot to do before a game, and I just pick up a baseball and I just start thinking I'm going to be nice and throw a baseball with the coach's son, to make him feel good. Hey, this college kid is paying attention to me. Yeah. And he could have cared less, I don't think, and look in the rearview mirror about it. But I just remember throwing baseball with Brian McCann, and then it was one of those when I'm watching him in the major leagues, I'm like, hold on, a Brian McCann, and again, thank goodness we have the internet.
Sure.
And I started doing my sleuthing, and I found out that's Howard McCann's
That's
son.
the kid I was playing pitch with.
Yeah. So I
taught that kid how to throw a baseball
That's
back
right.
to the pitcher.
That's right. Yeah, I was. Yeah, he became a catcher. I was a
right.
pitcher.
That's exactly
so
right.
Yeah, so
that's what I would tell everybody if I were you.
Yeah, I don't know if he repeats it as often as I do, but yeah, that was probably the most known that I actually got to be around. There was some couple guys that I got to play against or see, but they're probably not household names. But
Sure.
When you're inside of baseball, those names kind of stand out to you. The guy is Todd Green. He played, he was a catcher as well,
Okay.
and he was with Georgia Southern. He was the only guy. I kept thinking, like, if this guy can barely make it to the major leagues, after watching some of the stuff that he was doing in college, it just shows you just how elite those
Sure.
guys are who get to that level. And because it was just unbelievable. Like, he was one of those guys that when batting practice is happening, didn't matter if you rooted for Georgia Southern or you didn't, you stopped and you just watched him hit. Because I remember the Southern Conference tournament, there's palm trees in South Carolina, probably 20, 30 yards behind the fence, and he's hitting them over the palm trees. And so you're just standing there just in awe of it. And then to hear that he's a journeyman,
right?
But he got 10 years in the league, so that was pretty cool.
I remember one time talking to Chick King, and he always said, if you want to, like, if your goal is to play in the major leagues, then be a catcher, because bullpen catchers and all that, they always need somebody out there to catch, whoever's warming up, or that's the best way to get into the major leagues. And I don't know why I brought that up or just remembered that, but it's my show, so we can talk about whatever I want.
That's right. We talk catchers for an hour and a half.
We can, but just your story about him being a journeyman and being a catcher and all that just made me think of, he did it, I guess, the right way. But as you said, just when people stop and watch you take batting practice, still an excellent athlete at that level.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So we talked about yours. Yours was not necessarily in college, but in high school. And I remember this night as well, as clear as day. So.
Oh, yeah. So the most, probably the famous athletes that I played, they all came from Clarksville. and so when I was a sophomore in high school, Clarksville High had Sean Marion and Trenton Hassel on the same team.
Yeah.
Marion was a senior, Trenton Hassel was a junior, and then Clarksville Northwest had Marcus Maben, who was a 6'4" point guard. And so they all went on to have they were incredible athletes. In fact, one of the, you want to talk about all the things and try and butter me up? No. Marcus Maben, funniest story of probably my high school career. I'm a sophomore. Marcus Maben, he's a 6'4" point guard, one of the most ridiculous athletes I've ever played against in my life. Incredible player. In fact, if you go to the Northwest gym, they've got a plaque in the lobby honoring him and all of his accomplishments. And I'm on the floor. I'm on defense. He gets around the guy guarding him, and he's coming at me. I'm standing on the hash line in the lane, and I'm like, he's coming right at me. I'm like, I got him. And then he jumps. And I'm like, why the heck is he jumping from that far away? And then it was like, oh, shoot. And he absolutely dunked on me worse than anybody has ever dunked on me in my life.
Well,
Northwest Gym explodes at my expense. And we got drilled as far as the game goes and what have you. We show up at practice the next day. Terry Taylor's my head coach. Hey, guys, let's watch film. Play number 1, Kyle getting dunked on. Play number 2, Kyle getting dunked on. Play number 3, Kyle getting dunked on. Yeah. Like, it was that impressive. It just happened to be at my expense. So those are the guys that I remember that went on to have incredible careers.
It's funny you say that, because you talk about the things you remember, and I don't know why I remember the things I do, because I don't, my wife, it's one of those situations where she told me to do something earlier today, and I don't know what she told me to do. I can't remember it. I've already forgotten. But I can remember when Marcus Maben, when they came to Henry County, like, one of the first plays they ran was a backdoor alley-oop, and the kid threw it to him from like the half court, just like one step across the timeline, just alley-ooped it to him, and he caught it and flushed it with no problem, and it was impressive. It's one of those things that, even though it was a Clarksville school, Coach Summers, you'll appreciate this, even though it was a Clarksville school, like, in the stands, you find yourself going, wow, that was pretty good. Yeah. And it was the same thing with Sean Marion and Trent Hassel, because I remember just being in the Woo Pound at the time. Sean Marion would just catch the ball and just jump up and dunk it. And like all night long, that's all he did. Just caught the ball down in the paint, jumped up, two-handed it, and that was it.
Oh, yeah.
And
The Whoop Hound didn't have a whole lot to cheer for.
I think we were cheering for them.
You didn't have a whole lot to cheer for if you were cheering for Henry County. There wasn't a whole lot going on good for us, but it was impressive to watch them dunk on us repeatedly. And so grateful for those memories.
He didn't have the nickname Money, though.
He didn't. No, he didn't. No, not at all. And so, but yeah, no, grateful for those to get to play against those guys, and those stories are fun to tell my kids, and of course, it's fun to watch your kids' reactions when you tell them about getting dunked on. Well,
and you can always. I remember when Sean Marion, when he got to the NBA, of course, he went to UNLV and played college ball, but then when he developed the ugliest 3-point shot you've ever seen. Like, he would shoot it from his hip, and like I just kind of flip it up from his hip, and it hit 30% of them probably. Like, what in the world is? But I guess when you get to that point, it doesn't matter how you got there.
There's an eliteness to his athleticism that was just astounding, just absolutely astounding.
Well, it's already been 30 minutes. I told you, it flies by when you're having a good time. But we're going to take a break and hear from our sponsors, and then we got a special guest coming back after this break, and we'll hear from them and then talk about Able Farms with Kyle Stevens and Bart Croasmun.
There you go.
Well done.
Back after these messages.
In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee, where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter, and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food. That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Back here on SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. Do want to remind you about next week's show. It's going to be a wild one. Going to be crazy, I know, but we're going to have a good time. We've got Ralph Wild coming in. Mike Weatherford is going to be my special guest host. General Neil Thompson, the district attorney, is going to be here with us, and Joey Nash is going to be as well. We're going to talk racing, dirt track racing, and everything that comes with it. Neil goes from court to the garage to fix his race car, and then goes and races on the weekend. And so going to hear from him. And Ralph Wild, of course, has years and years and years of building race chassis and all of that stuff. And Mike, the Heiko Hustler, as he was known as on the drag strip. And so that's next week. And Joey Nash will stop by as well to talk about his racing career and everything that he has accomplished with it. So that's next Sunday night at 7:30 live here in the studio at the Brewer Street Mafia Studios here on Brewer Street. You won't want to miss that, I'm sure. Don't forget about Mike's show on Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday night, August 26th at 7 o'clock, talking about the Alan Warren Band and things you didn't know about them. His special guest host will be Dr. Andy Lundberg and Rockin' Randall French. And so, again, that is on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. If you don't follow Mike's show, go over there, give him a follow, subscribe, like, all that stuff. And go ahead and do that for our show as well, please, if you don't mind. And so find us on Facebook at SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. And then you can also watch the episodes on myparistv.com on YouTube, or their YouTube channel, My Paris TV's YouTube channel. And so be sure to check those out each and every week, and like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. We appreciate it very much if you would. Talking here with Kyle Stevens and Bart Croasmun. I'll get it right in a couple years.
When the show's over, that's okay.
That's all right. And Steve Summers has stopped in to say hello for us. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for letting me
Sure.
come on and crash y'all's party.
Oh, it's
here.
all right.
I appreciate it. I just wanted to come on just for a minute and just thank everybody about the sponsors and everyone involved with the replay of the football game. And we're going to replay the basketball game because I finally got to watch a replay. I got to watch it on TV, and it was just cool to watch it. And I just really appreciate everybody that's sponsoring that because it was just fun to watch. I know a lot of the kids watched it, the players and some of the fans, and they've told me that it was just really good to be able to see it on Saturday, to experience it live, and then to be able to watch it on Saturday was just a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed it too. So thank you. I appreciate all of the sponsors that are supporting that because it's just really a neat thing to be able to watch it.
Absolutely. And I didn't think about it when talk about doing the tape delay that there are a bunch of folks who don't get to watch and listen. I wouldn't want to listen. I hope you turned your TV on mute and just watched the game.
You and Griffin did a great job. Y'all really did. And I was impressed. Y'all did a really good job.
We have fun. Got through this week with no.
That's a football game.
I'm limited in what I can do here. So, okay, I'm sorry. Croasmun.
And coach my son, he wouldn't have got it right.
That's exactly right. And so
I probably butchered it a lot with Jake. Jake from State Farm is what we called him for a long time.
That was the easy way not have to say it.
Yep,
so okay, so while you're here, I know you said you're going to pop in and run, but that's a good story, I'm sure, because Jake played for the Patriots, was the quarterback, and so you were his coach.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about when his experiences here and because
we waited 10 years to get this moment to really tell how we really feel about Coach Summers and how he did.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, Jake, I got him live. Right? No, we were very appreciative of Coach Summers and everything because I don't know if you remember Jake or not. He wasn't the kid that was big or impressive size-wise. Until he was. As a sophomore, he's 5 foot nothing, 100 pounds and nothing, and buried on the depth chart. But just the way he listened, and he was well coached. And Coach Summers put him in situations to learn and grow, and got him into some camps in Georgia where he got to go do some quarterback camp stuff. Met Mecole Hardman, who's playing for the Chiefs now, and so. Those things and somebody believe in him, I think really helped him. And then finally DNA caught up with Jake and he got to be a size to where you could throw him back there and not get hurt as a quarterback. And he was very grateful, and he still is, for that opportunity to be a quarterback here at Big Red.
He was a lot of fun to coach.
What years were they?
He was 11 through – he graduated in 15, so it would have been – he was a freshman and then 11, so 11, 12, 13, 14 were his 4 years.
So he got 2 of those championship rings?
Not the first one. He was a freshman.
Okay.
He wasn't a freshman that was worth paying attention to, but he coached that one too. And so I still remember Jake probably has told him this. When Jake was a junior, they struggled at the JV and the freshman level with some quarterback, some health stuff and other things. And so Jake's the backup for the varsity, but there was times where there was nobody in the corral to quarterback the JV game or a freshman game, and he just asked very politely, you can ride with me, and I've got to go to these games. You can go. We're not going to ask you to do a lot. Yeah. And most kids, I don't think they would. He was like, I can't believe Coach Summers asked me to go to play for these games, but he was grateful for the chance. He didn't do much other than hand it off, and I hope I'm not violating TSSA or anything.
No,
I say those things. Who cares now, right? But no.
Don't listen to this show.
Wait a minute.
TSSA, they're not interested in us.
Yeah. So, but that's what I could tell you about his time with Coach Summers, and he still likes to check in with Coach Summers from time to time.
He needs to get me some hockey tickets is what he needs
to
do.
Yeah. So Jake works for the Nashville Predators now.
Okay.
And so I don't want to say too much about the free tickets, but limited situations, we might be able to help somebody out.
Well, or just get with Coach Summers when he gets the tickets and go with him.
That's right.
There you go. Hey,
you got your calendar with you?
I do. JV football, we got it tomorrow night at Patriot Stadium at 6 o'clock, playing Westview. Tuesday's a big day. Inman's going to be playing at Barton Field. Henry County Middle School is going to be playing at Patriot Stadium. Soccer is going to be playing at Kenwood, volleyball at West Creek, cross country at Union City.
Wow.
If you hadn't had a chance to go out and watch the golf team, they're playing at Paris Country Club tomorrow. Go out and watch them. I mean, they start at 4. Just walk around a little bit and watch them play. It's a lot of fun to go do that. Then Thursday, Grove is playing at Barton Field. Soccer is at home, and golf is at Paris Landing, and volleyball is at Dixon. And then football, we're on the road. But volleyball's off to a 2-0 start.
Yep.
Soccer's played one game Saturday against Murray. We tied 0-0. So they'll be fun to watch. Golf is doing well. Boys and girls are both doing well. So got a lot going on, and kids are doing good, and it's been a lot of fun. We had a good crowd Friday night at the game. Had a pretty good crowd Saturday at the soccer game. So just appreciate all the support from everybody.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you stopping by. You can hear from Coach Steve Summers every week here on SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew as he comes in to talk about what's going on.
Come on, yeah. I'll come back.
Yeah. See, that's the trick when you put him on the spot on camera like that.
Yeah.
It's really hard for him to be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But,
I'll do it. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
If I just quit cutting grass or stirring up dust on Sundays, it'd be all right.
Well, we appreciate everything you do for Henry County sports.
Thank
and
you.
Again, busy week, a lot of opportunity to get out and see some of these squads that, like you said, normally you may not even think to go out and see, but like you said, the golf team,
Exactly.
I know volleyball is away these 2 nights this week, I think you said, but they play their home games at Grove.
That's correct, and it's a fun little setting. It's a small setting, but it gets crowded, and it's a fun little setting.
So if you hadn't watched I've never been to a high school volleyball game. I want to catch one, and I'm gonna. The next home game, as long as Grove football isn't playing that same night, I'll be there. I can promise you that. So when is that going to be?
Monday, September 1st.
On Labor Day?
Yep.
Okay, so.
No, Tuesday, September 2nd. There's an arrow from 1st to 2nd. Tuesday, September 2nd.
All right.
Coach, does the JV team have a quarterback? Are they good for tomorrow night?
No, we need Jake.
Okay, I'll call him.
We need Jake. But thank you. Appreciate you having me.
We appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. So, guys, y'all are pretty big project going on out in Elkhorn. Is that right? So, Abel's Farms. Able Farms, talk about that and your work with that and what all that encompasses. Just tell us about that program.
Sure. Able Farms is, we could probably talk a long time about Able Farms.
I want you to. Go for it.
So Able Farms is a ministry farm, and I guess our mission statement, we're a missional farm community that seeks to create a space of belonging for people of all abilities and all backgrounds where they experience the belonging, love, and equality. And basically, it's a ministry farm where we try and help relationships heal, and whether that be with oneself, with others, and ultimately with God. Okay. This is a ministry that flows out of our heart for ministry, and trying to love our neighbor well. And when you talk about, and I guess the dream, began with conversations around people who have disabilities or special needs, and began around those conversations because many times in our community, like many others, though that population tends to be, they become invisible.
Sure.
And our school systems have resources and things available up until the child's somewhere around 21, 22, and then they age out. And then they disappear, so to speak, into their homes, into society as a whole, and trying to say we can do better with that. And so basically what we're trying to do is we're developing a campus out in Springville where we can do ministry on a farm, because part of the foundation of this is a belief that the farm in many respects is one of the best classrooms that there is available, period, for learning all kinds of things about yourself, about relationships, about hard work, about things that truly matter far beyond just kind of the superficiality that our culture often prides itself on being a part of. And so one of the big things, Able Farms is the ministry and kind of the umbrella ministry that we are a part of. One of the big ones is Able Stables, is what we're calling it. The official name is Able Stables, where hoofbeats of hope are heard. That's intentional.
Sure.
For all of those who have grown up around Henry County, Jan Foy, Ann Wilson, many others worked with Hoofbeats of Hope and did therapeutic riding for the better part of 15 to 20 years.
Almost 20 years, yeah.
Out in the Puryear, Cottage Grove area. And blessed a lot of lives, and so grateful for that ministry. That ministry closed 4, 5, 6 years ago. And one of the things when these conversations began about Able Farms, when you start thinking about, okay, how can you use a farm to be a blessing to other people? It became really obvious that there was a felt need in the community for what Hoofbeats of Hope provided. And Able Stables could be potentially that. And so we went to Jan, we went to Ann, we said, what do you think about us trying to pick that up and run with it? And we have had no bigger cheerleaders than Jan Foy and Ann Wilson and many of the other people associated with Hoofbeats of Hope in creating this ministry called Able Stables that is an equine-assisted ministry where we do riding sessions and we teach horsemanship while there are some therapeutic benefits, but a lot of it has to do with the confidence and the joy and the relationships that are good for the child or the person riding, but also good for everybody else who gets involved.
Sure. How many folks are involved with the ministry right now?
So this past spring, I believe we worked with 15 families is what we were able to work with, 16 riders. We've had roughly around 40 volunteers, and we've been mainly just keeping that those that are associated with us or those that are associated with Hoofbeats in the past for Jan and Ann. And because once, like Kyle said, once they heard we were wanting to take this route, we tried a lot of things when we first, the dream and the concept was kind of floating between the two of us. And when it actually landed, we thought of a lot of things. And then it just became kind of one of those moments of like, there was something great here.
Sure.
It's not here anymore. Does our community, one, still want it? And two, can the people that do it help us get it back?
Right.
And it was yes on all of those things. And so Jane and Ann have been great about just coming alongside. Neither one of us are horsemen by trade or by life.
Seriously, I mean, but that was going to be my question, because I assume you have to, you don't want me out there trying to teach you or how to ride a horse or to.
We want you to come just stand next to the horse while somebody else is doing the horseman piece.
Right.
There's room for those folks too that have zero horse exposure experience as we continue to develop our stuff. I've been around horses since 2017.
Okay.
We moved out into we're technically Buchanan is our address, but we're Springville too, out there just off of Saltwell Academy Road, and we moved out into the country. The property that we had part of a barn on it, and I told my wife, Carrie, I said, I want to get a horse. She's like, we know nothing about horses. And I said, and we never will if we don't get a horse. And
that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Right?
And also through church work,
Sure.
you say that enough out loud in the church building, somebody's going to have a horse that they want you to take. And that's what happened.
Right.
And we ended up with our first horse. And it's just kind of wild just to see how it's kind of just grown from there, just the exposure to
Sure.
it. And once you get one horse, if you can, you got to have more than one, because otherwise it turns into a fair ride. You know, one's got to go and get back, and the next one's got to go and get back. But when we all have horses, we can all go ride.
That's exactly right.
But we don't have a budget for horses, and so that's a whole other thing that you don't want to hear about tonight. But we've learned as we've gone, and we've figured out things, and it's been humbling and grateful to come alongside and find other people that are passionate about ministry, passionate about horses, and willing to, as much as they could. We probably get a lot of bless their hearts, before they tell us things, you know what I mean? But we're grateful that they still tell us, and they gently remind us, hey, that's probably not a good idea. And so I can talk about horses for about 5 minutes in an arena with the horse, and it looks like I've just been around these things my whole entire life. And it's what, 8 years probably. So
yeah, we've been grateful to get to partner with people who are very good at both Jan and Ann, and then others who are horse people, and that's been fun, because horses have kind of a unique knack and innate ability to connect with with people, particularly children with disabilities, and it doesn't require words. If communication is difficult, if tensions or emotions are high and what have you, horses have this innate way to connect that's really quite remarkable. And that's been fun to watch happen. And so one of the things that we've kind of constantly reminded ourselves about Able Farms is this dream is far too big and far too good for any one person or any one person's skill set to pull off. This is not something that Bart nor I have any misconceptions that we can pull this off and what have you. This is too good and too big, and this requires a team. It requires a village, and we are grateful for the people that have shown up that God has brought our way to help us assist in loving our neighbor with this. And we get to use horses, and we plan to do multiple other ministries, whether it be Able Gardens and some other things. There may even be some other opportunities down the road to expand this vision, because the dream is only about 3.5 years old.
That's what would go. My next question was, because you all know ministry is like a calling. And so when did y'all feel called to do this? And so 3.5 years ago is when. Well,
we actually had a text conversation. January of 2022 is when this occurred, and I was in my bedroom watching a Zoom call about a ministry over in North Carolina that is similar to what we do, not exactly, and very much felt a call to that we should do something like that, and wasn't real excited about that initially, but that feeling and that call didn't seem to go away. So my first thought was, well, I'll just text Bart. And just so happened he was about to text me, and was thinking the exact same thing about what would you think about starting a farm for either people with disabilities or people from marginalized communities here in Henry County that would be ministry oriented and take seriously the call to follow Jesus and to love your neighbor. And he was like, dude, like I was about to text you the same thing because he was dreaming about that. And we were like, oh, well, maybe there's something to this. And those conversations spawned into other conversations with other people. And we are so grateful for the community and the people that have shown up in our world as a result of that dream. So, the dream is really only about 3 years old. 3.5 years old, and we had a napkin drawing conversation, and the name came up for the Able Farms, because Able is an acronym. So ability, belonging, love, and equality is what Able stands for. And we were texting back and forth, and Bart was the one who gave us the logo, and it just went nuts and what have you. And this dream has captivated a lot of people. It's changed over the last 3.5 years for various reasons and what have you. But boy, we're excited about where we are.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was in Nashville, and I just happened to be touring a community garden. And it was just kind of a really cool idea too, because the community garden was the result of, if you remember when the tornadoes went through downtown Nashville, and I got to experience a church that was given this plot of land right in the middle of Nashville where there's neighborhoods and houses, and they decided that we're going to do something rather than sell it to somebody to build another house. We're going to put a garden in, and we're going to try to be a blessing to our community through this community garden. And as Kyle said, it's just funny. Like I was like, I don't know, Kyle's seems to be a good idea guy to bounce this off of. And before I could hit send, I got that one from him, and like he said, we went back and forth, and I know him and Jen had also been kind of dreaming of some things in the past, and so it was just one of those things. And by morning we had Able Farms and we had a logo.
Awesome.
And it's like, okay, we got a logo, now we got to do something with it.
Do something with it, right?
And so this is what we've been doing ever since January of 2022. So
nice. And so y'all got some new construction going on currently, right?
We do, yeah. So we have done quite a bit of fundraising. This community, I don't have to tell this community how generous it is, and the donations that have come in. We're so grateful for that. But we're developing a campus. It's out in Springville. It's on Sulphur Well Academy Road, just a mile south of Highway 79. And we're building 5 different buildings. And so one of those is a ministry center, is a welcome center that will kind of house a lot of our orientations, trainings. It can be Bible studies, worship centers, whatever. Maybe even a day program for adults with disabilities. Lots of possibilities there. Building number 2 will be a pavilion. Building number 3 is a stables that'll be being built. There'll be a hay barn for that. And then the arena that we have erected there. The trusses are up. This is the one of the really cool things is that the arena that we have out on Able Farms in Springville is the Hoofbeats of Hope Arena that blessed this community for nearly 20 years. There, the tarp that covered the hoop building was damaged in a storm several years back, but the trusses themselves and the infrastructure, the structure to it was fine. And so we had it disassembled and trucked across the county and reassembled with footers. And so all that's out there on the farm, and it's erected now. And we have had some conversations with a group that will be putting a new tarp on it. Should be 1st of October to get that covered. The Welcome Center is being framed as we speak. And we're waiting on trusses here in the next, probably the next few weeks. We'll be getting that. And so it's fun to watch something kind of come up out of the ground. And what have you. And we're excited. We think it'll be a beautiful place and what have you. But we don't ever want to be a place that our focus is not beautiful buildings. Our focus and our goal is to shape the lives of the people that God brings to us, and to help basically mend relationships and offer a picture of what wholeness should look like, and what have you. We're not a church. We're not trying to be a church, but we are very intentionally trying to be Christ-like and Christ-centered in how we treat one another and how we minister to this community, and to be a blessing to those, hopefully for years to come, and that will outlive both of us.
Well, even in the new construction, you already are doing that because y'all got a really great Facebook page that you can keep up with the progress that's being made and what y'all are doing. But y'all are already having sessions or writing out at the farm, correct?
Yeah, that's at my place. We have some property out there. We're about not even a full mile from where our permanent campus will be. And so the horses live on our place, and we've got some room across the road. And so the horses live on one side, and then we have an arena on the other side, and we've got a pasture over there. We got a tack room. We've got all the basics. And again, it's been really cool to watch other people that we share life with kind of catch the vision of what we're doing and want to help and want to do things. And so everything we have is a lot of it's all volunteer labor to what we have out there currently what we're working with. It's a much smaller version of what we have, but it's outside. It's weather dependent. So we've had to struggle with that. Summer was not a possibility for us to do anything just because of the heat. And in the last fall, we had to cancel, sessions because of the weather. So we're really excited about the opportunity to get on the permanent location and have that Hoofbeats farm, not just for the nostalgia of it, but just the things that's going to allow us to do when weather isn't great. We can still get the horses, get the kids, and still have that opportunity, because it's incredible to watch the conversations that get to happen between the kids and the riders and some of those kids. It just I could just talk all day about watching some of these kids, because like Kyle said, a lot of these kids with that are neurodivergent and they have divergent, and they have some different kinds of just social anxieties and stuff. When they find each other there, all that seems to go away. And that's been one of the beautiful things to see, because I still have the vision of two kids last year. Both of them are relatively around the same age, little different schools, but they found each other there. And just to watch their conversation go back and forth, and you could just see really sense of belonging that was coming to those two kids, and all of the other stuff that they deal with in the school just kind of went away. And it was just one of those reminders of, I think that's what we're called to do. And everybody's made in the image of God, and we can't forget that. And these guys are they're just as valuable to the work of what God has us to do as any one of us. So that's been really life-giving to be a part of that. That's
awesome. Do y'all have a date that you're shooting for to have not only the whole facility completed, but I know you said you had the tarp, you'd ordered the tarp for the arena. Are y'all looking at a date to maybe start moving things that direction, or what's your goal for that?
So we've had lots of dates down over the last 3 years, and we've learned to make plans and hold them loosely, and what have you. So we would love to have the campus completed, toward this winter. and what have you. We're going to be doing our fall sessions over at Bart and Carey's, and we'll be doing that again this year. We may get to do some stuff in the arena and what have you, but we don't have the paddocks or the fences, and we don't have all of the equipment necessarily over there just yet. And so it's really unrealistic to do that this fall. We were hoping to be there for this fall, but I don't know that that's going to be realistic just with all of the timeline and the things that there's a lot of moving pieces.
Has to fall in place.
Moving pieces for this. And so really excited to kind of be where we are and to be pulling people in and connecting the people that God has brought to us in order to try and be a blessing here. And it's really fun to watch some of the students that he's talking about. And then also, I mean, things like simple things that you don't even really see until your eyes are opened. And the notion we've had several kids. You know, when you have a sibling, if you're a sibling and you have a sibling who is neurodivergent, or you have a child, you're a parent, and you have a child who's neurodivergent. Depending on what that looks like, that makes everything difficult.
Sure.
And one of the things as a sibling is how do you go play and do things with your sibling?
Right.
Whereas many people get to experience going to play ball or going to do this activity with a brother or sister. That becomes difficult. One of the things that's happened just kind of organically is that when you're in a horse, when you're in the saddle, you're equal.
Right.
And so brothers and sisters, siblings have been able to both ride together and do something together where they get to be partners. They get to be making fun of each other like brothers and sisters do. They get to be enjoying time together. And so you watch that happen, and then you watch mama or daddy or whoever brought them connecting with other parents that they didn't know who are in the same boat, same struggles, getting to connect. And it starts to open up a lot of our eyes and the possibilities of what is God calling us to do.
Right.
And I think he's showing us if we've got the eyes to actually see that.
So if somebody was like, hey, I know about Able Farms and Able Stables, I want to be a part of that, I want to help out, who do they contact? What do you need from the community? Like,
well,
two questions in one.
Yeah,
two questions.
I'll handle the first part of that. I'll let Kyle handle the second part of that one. Right now, we just tell everybody just to come check out, just follow us on Facebook.
Okay.
And you can check us out on our website, ablefarms.org.
Okay.
And we have a place there for you to message us. And then if people do that, like I said, we're trying to be intentional with not overloading ourselves until we have something to overload ourselves with right now. And so we have riding 2 nights a week is what we're doing. You know, the rest of us we're still doing our other lives and our other things. And so we're trying to make this all work. And so for now, we just ask people to send us messages like that if they're interested, and we will let them know as best as we can if we can expand or do anything else either with our riders or with our volunteer group. So
nice.
Yeah. The reality is that the need far outweighs and outpaces our number of volunteers, the hours in a day, the resources that we have yet. And so it's hard to say no or not yet to people, but unfortunately that's been a reality of just where we are. And it will require, once the campus is done, it's going to require us to be able to hire people to be part of Able Farms full time so that there are more slots open, that there are more opportunities for riders, and so that those numbers and that need can be better addressed. But the need, because is far greater than the capacity right now, and so we're trying to be intentional with that and not burn our volunteers out. Because one of the things, like we're passionate about the disability space and neurodivergence, but one of the other things that one of the other things that showed up is that horses and farm life in general have an incredible ability with the trauma space, with people, families, children who've been through trauma, to heal relationships. Children who've lost trust in the ability to trust an adult may get to start rebuilding that trust, and they may start with a horse. And it has a remarkable ability in that space. And so we would love to open this up there in the future as well, but that's just going to require time to do so. And so getting in touch with Bart with the website and Facebook is the best way to do that. As far as what we're doing, we are finishing we are working on construction financially. We have We are probably over halfway there to what we need. We are about to start doing some sponsorship and naming opportunities for people. If people want to honor someone a loved one, and name a stall or what have you, we're not trying to make a ton of money. We're just trying to simply get this construction completed, and really excited about those opportunities. We've already had some people jump on that, and so we'll be publishing that information here in the not too distant future while we try and finish the campus without losing focus that we're here for the kids, we're here for the families, and trying to do that intentionally. And a lot of this is very simple. It just requires time, and to show someone that they matter is so much more important than whether you're than the big stuff that we often get caught up in.
And we want to, as long as we can, the one thing that we're really passionate about is making sure that the sessions are free for our riders.
Correct.
And so there's nothing coming out of the family's pockets, because there is so many other expenses in so many other places. And again, beyond this, the generosity to help us get this built, there is that continued generosity to support our kids, to let them come do this at no cost to them. And part of that, and when we're developing that to be able to get the sponsorships, as Kyle said, about not just the building, but our horses too, you know, that they also need care and whatnot. And so we're looking for ways to get creative with that. And so as much as people can volunteer or want to volunteer with a session or be a part of it, we also love great ideas. And so if people can reach out to us through Facebook or the website, through the message portal there, we would love to take great ideas, and because we're constantly taking those in and doing what we can and discerning what God wants us to do with those ideas to make sure that this is something that we can continue to do. It's one thing if it's a good idea. It's another thing if it's something God's wanting us to do, which is where I think we are, and we want to just be as good and stewards with what we're being given. And we understand that this is going to be based off the generosity of other folks. So, and we're grateful for where we are. We have all the confidence that we can continue to do that, because this is something, as Kyle said, and it's such a big thing, and it's bigger than any one of us. And we may be the ones here talking about it, but this is not just for Henry County. This is for beyond. I can't tell you how far out we're already fielding requests of how far people are willing to come to be a part of it.
Right.
And it's so hard to tell them not yet.
Yeah.
But that's where we are. So,
well, guys, I appreciate y'all coming on and talking about this. It's an important ministry. It's a needed ministry, and no better guys I can think of to take the reins of it. And so
good job.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. She must have thought, how long did it take you to come up with that?
Just off the top of my head.
Well, nice work.
But it's seriously, I do appreciate the work that you are doing, because we talked about it that, Cade used to be involved out at Hoofbeats and loved it, and it was a huge part of his life for so long, just being able to go out there and help. And so I know that it's a needed ministry, and the work that goes into it is it probably seems like a thankless job at times, but you guys. I'm excited to see it grow and what it's going to become. And like I said, the Facebook page has all the information, and you can find the link to the website there. But if you're not following Able Farms on Facebook, go give them a like and a follow so that you can keep up with the progress yourself of what's going on out there in the community. And it's a great ministry, and it's going to be a great thing for not just Henry County, but as Bart said, just all of whoever can make it here eventually.
Absolutely.
Sure, and we're grateful for you and for the chance to get to chat and to share it with your listeners and this community. As someone who got the privilege to grow up here, like you, I'm grateful for this community that helped shape me and gets to help shape my kids.
Sure.
And hopefully we'll shape a whole lot of other kids and a whole lot of other families for many, many years and generations to come.
Yep. Guys, I appreciate it. Enjoyed this. I hope y'all did too. And again, go check them out on Facebook, Able Farms, and then the website is ablefarms.org.
Yes,
is it right? Correct.
ablefarms.org.
Check that out. But just a great job and great work these guys are doing, and I appreciate it very much. Don't forget, next week the show will be at 7:30 again here from the Brewer Street Mafia Studios. We'll have Ralph Wiles and Mike Weatherford is going to co-host that show with me. And Neil Thompson and Joey Nash will be on to talk about their time dirt track racing, from cars to motorcycles and anything else they can race in or build or just going to have a fun conversation with that. Don't forget about Mike's show on Tuesday night. Be sure to check into that with talking about the Alan Warren Band with Dr. Andy Lundberg and Rockin' Randall French. We do want to say again, thank you to our sponsors. Thanks to Taters, All-Star Fence, Patriot Plumbing, Shelter Insurance, Eaton Construction, and Tennessee Real Estate. Be sure to join us next week. Until then, as always, take care of yourself and each other. We'll see y'all next week.